launch site. Paul Mamacos with Ocean Camera Space Corp. For the moment, there is no wind, there is no rain. You can see some of the clouds going by the tower there. Good morning, good evening, good day to you, whenever you're watching this. Just getting set up here. I'll get in front of the shot. Just a minute. That would be Sir Prince Paul Mamacos here at your service. Checking out the launch site with you. We had a lot of rain this morning, but it is evening here, getting up past 5 p.m. And we'll see what's going on here. I get a shot over there at the Starship as well. I can move the tripod to get that shot. However, things are going pretty good. I'm gonna check in with you, see if you notice anything that might have happened today. I'm gonna move here to the left and get the shot of the Starship, and then we'll come back to this shot here. Just while we have some daylight here. How you doing? Can't move out of here. Let me see if I can get a little better shot here. Let me know if the audio is good too. Just a minute. Starting to get a little sprinkle here too, so get it while we got it. Just a minute. Okay, audio is real low. Okay, Carl, I'll talk a little louder. Thank you. That's right, Sir Carl, that's right. Should be pretty good. There's a bunch of scaffolding there at the bottom of the Starship. I don't know what that's about. It seems to be 360 around the bottom of the Starship there. I don't know what they're doing. Yep, good evening. Good evening. There we go. Shot here. A little bit more. Some type of craziness over there below the at the base of the Starship. Scaffold fungus. That scaffold fungus says eagle eye PEAs. Okay, Tony says they removed some heat shield tiles off the ship. Okay, that's cool. I guess we're seeing a little white area there at the behind some of those scaffolding there. It looks like if that's some bare metal there, maybe that's what's happening, huh? Interesting. Let's stabilize this camera a little bit. Yeah, we have a little wind and I'm not using my better tripod, so we're getting some shakiness there. Carl says if something stays in one place too long here, the scaffolding fungus seems to grow on it. Yep. Yep. I like it. I could lower the camera just so it doesn't shake, but I'm gonna use it for the tower soon anyway, so. I'm gonna get the shot here to the left of the tower. It's getting cold, so I'm gonna make sure I get these shots before it gets too windy, rainy, or dark, you know. It's cold out here too. Yeah, if you remember, I did upload a video this morning of the OceanCam property. Thanks for you all who are members here. It's good stuff. I saw Jackie in there checking it out and some other folks as well. Good stuff. So the weather here, thanks Tony, is cloudy with temperature of 54 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius. The wind's from the northwest at 12 miles an hour, so it would still come from the northwest at 19 kilometers, and the current humidity is 100%. Yeah, we're still getting some sprinkles out here. It is a lot of moisture in the air, but not as rainy as this morning, that's for sure. Less rain right now than this morning. I did my laundry, so I dried some of my clothes from this morning. They were all soaked wet. Another angle on the tower, chopsticks. You leaving? Oh, okay, thank you. There's I like these shots that we get of the chopsticks up there. It's kind of cool. I'll move to the right in a little bit and we'll get another shot of the base of the tower too. I think I'll do that before it gets too dark and they put on that bright light by the entrance. So I'm gonna go over there right now and we'll get that shot. Here we go. And they're also doing some, I guess they have the stand here from moving, maybe the Starship is still here. And the pad looks pretty cool, so I'm gonna keep moving. It took me a few seconds to get there. There's a bunch of guys, a little traffic jam going on here right now. Okay, I am in front of my truck right now. There's a vehicle moving out to the left. He's crunching the front of his car right now. There he goes. All right. Yeah, I apologize for the low volume. I'll try and speak louder. and I'll get the shot of the base of the Starship there. Of the hey, Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop. Awesome. That's some Eddie Murphy stuff going on there. Thanks, Eagle Eye. Says the volume can still hear me. That's good stuff. Let's go. Still see the wind blowing there with all the tarps at the base of the orbital launch platform. And we can see that maybe that that piece added to the left side of the base of the tower there. That maybe I don't know if that's a black tarp or maybe I guess I'll use my hand. Looking for the scaffolding on the tower here. Let me see. Is it that black thing on the almost on that base thing there, or is it this tarp looking thing? I think it's maybe that scaffolding is maybe that black piece there on the bottom left. Cladding. Thanks, Eagle Eye. I don't see any lifts, any man lifts, any aerial man lifts, or any lifts. Don't see any lifts currently. It was too windy earlier today, and I guess it was just too rainy to do a lot of stuff. But I haven't yet checked the weather for the next 10 days. I forgot to do that. Hey, Ken in Florida, that's cool. What part of Florida are you in again, Ken? Because there's some, there's an opportunity for people in Florida who want to make money to go around and get signatures to try and get marijuana on the ballot. So if any of y'all that live in Florida want to get some work, leave a message on this video or send me a message by email, and I'll put you in touch with the people who can pay you. I think the deal is, what is it? It's a good deal. Ocala? Okay, that's good stuff. There's also a pile of black cladding panels on the floor. Okay, let me check around. Yeah, you can make over $1,000 a week doing some general going door to door. I think you get also $4 per signature in addition to another flat fee of like $20 an hour. You got to get like 8 signatures. You get every 8 signatures you get is $20, and then you get $4 per signature on top of that. So about $32 plus $20. You make about $50 an hour getting signatures for marijuana to make it legal in Florida. So if you want to get in on that gig, contact me at info@oceancam.space. I don't do any marijuana, and in the past, anyone who I've done business with who has done that has been a failure. So I do not seek out people to work with my company who do marijuana. But if you want to get a job where you can make it legal for marijuana to happen over there in Florida, be happy to put you in touch with those people because it's good money. You want to make maybe $400 a day. It's a good gig. You're gonna have to work though. Hey, 55 Chevy guy, yeah. So the email here is info@oceancam.space, and again, we are November 22nd, 2022 at the moment. So if you contact me in March of next year, it'll be too late. 2023 will be too late. So it would have to be in the next 5 days probably if you want to get in on this gig to have the opportunity to make that kind of money through. It goes through the end of February. So it'll be like $400 a day from now through February if you wanted. Yeah, Carl says, I only tried it once for about 7 years. I didn't want to rush to judgment on it. Yeah, I tried it once for 2 days, and then I stopped it. I was about 24 years old. I had a girlfriend who was lit up. She was lit up by the aura of that type of stuff. But just at least for me, it's a bad news when it comes to business and someone does that who's somehow related or has some influence on the business, and it's a bad deal. Unless I guess unless you're in the pot business, and then it's a good thing. You go to what I can tell you is I was just over there in Oregon, Portland, and it is entirely legal in Oregon to be smoking pot. As in, I've heard it's legal also in New York. Apparently now you can do marijuana in New York as well. So my understanding is wherever you want in Oregon, you can take out your weed and smoke as much as you want. You know, I didn't really get all the particulars on how it's done and everything else, so I may be telling you an incorrect statement at the moment, but I do know that people were smoking up all over there when I was over there for 3 weeks. So there was a joke. There was kind of we were wondering, like, if you were flying from Oregon to New York, could you smoke on the plane? But if the plane did a layover in, say, Texas or another state where it's illegal, would it be illegal to get off the plane if you had some pot with you from Oregon or from New York? But maybe so it's kind of interesting. If you were flying direct route from Oregon to New York, could you bring the pot with you on the plane? Probably not, because the FAA is a federal thing, and then that's kind of beyond the state laws. We're coming into federal there. So, okay, Tom says, smoke what you need, not what you want. Prefer to ingest. Yeah, why ruin your lungs, right? But yeah, I had a out-of-body experience a long time ago. This is coming into my expertise here, and without any influence of any additional things to make it happen. So just naturally through meditation, I had some out-of-body experiences. And one time I had this experience where I met one of my friend's gurus on the other side. You know what a guru is, like a teacher. I met one of his mystical teachers on the other side when I was out of body or in the lucid dream state or whatever you want to call it. And what I could see is the energy of the marijuana. It makes the energy of the body, the energy of the cells, or you can see it out of body. And what it does to that energetic pattern of the body is it makes it into spikes. Like there's some Asian, a lot of the Asian plants have thorns, right? So you can imagine that the energy of the body is, instead of being like a natural smooth layer of the energy of the cells which surround all the different more physical, more dense particles, the energy of someone who does marijuana or pot is it's like a thorny bush, and so there's these spikes all over in the energetic body, because I don't know why that is, but and then if you know someone who has or who does some type of pot or marijuana or whatever, they like these spiky, fuzzy things, and that's it's pretty interesting, because that kind of resembles what what I saw in that thing. That's what happens to the aura, if you want to call it that, to the energy of the person's body that does the pot. So. Become spiky, kind of like polarized, kind of almost like a different personality at times. So that's what I keep in mind for myself when I look at people who do that type of thing, and pretty emotional stuff. Carlos Castaneda is a writer. He was an author a while back. He's apparently not around anymore. And I have done, I've worked for a few canvassing jobs here in Brownsville. And pretty interesting because I have come across in one of the political campaigns that I worked for here in Brownsville, not directly for any campaign, but for a super PAC. And one of the houses I came across was Castaneda. So it's when we are close to the Ciudad del Diablo, or the Tierra del Diablo, Nuevo Leon, where Carlos Castaneda would write about his stories happening going through the town of Nuevo Leon. So it's pretty interesting to see, although Carlos Castaneda apparently is not around, but one of his relatives, possibly, or just someone with the same last name, lives here in Brownsville. So if you do reach this message, I would love to chat with you. I know there were some other authors similar to Carlos who wrote about the energies and the entities of the different plant species and things like that, that when you commune with the different mushrooms or plants or peyote or whatever it is, ayahuasca, they would imbue or they would enslave the person or make them believe certain things. So Carlos Castaneda was a big writer many years ago. And if any of you seriously get into the meditation or some of the out-of-body stuff, if you're into like Buddhist meditation, then you don't need to know anything about this. If you're into Zen Buddhism, you don't need to know anything about this. But if you're into more of the nature type things or witch type things or Wicca or some of the other more scientific, less spiritual type things like binaural beats or any of the other stuff, ayahuasca. I never did any ayahuasca, but I've done very few things in my past. But mostly, much of my stuff for the first 4 years was just pure, straight out meditation. But if you do any of that type of stuff, you might want to check out Carlos Castaneda because he puts a whole different spin on spirituality and awareness. Okay, did they lower the chopsticks? Let me check it. Hey, Tom. Tom says, I see they lowered the chopsticks. Let me get this shot going up. The chopsticks, they are still up there. Sorry about that, Tom. Tom says, done DMT. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, and if you're looking for some fun things to watch, Mike Tyson has come out with some videos where he talks about some of his recent stuff that he's done with toad venom and some other stuff. He did a great interview. I think it was with London Real. I believe Mike Tyson went on and did a talk with him. But Mike Tyson, he's become very spiritual oriented. You might check him out. I think he's got his own YouTube channel now. He also just did a talk with Sadhguru, S-A-D-H Guru, Sadhguru. Mike Tyson and Sadhguru did a very interesting chat on YouTube. Worth watching for sure. But so Mike, in my own opinion, just watching what he said, he's experienced the expansion, but he hasn't yet embraced the universe. Or maybe he has, but he still hasn't figured it out. He hasn't conceptualized what's happening, or the big. He's still a little bit on he's still running after the force or the forces or the ability. He hasn't yet internalized or maybe not yet fully experienced the spiritual death of the personality. Or maybe he has just briefly, but he's still he hasn't yet made the connection between the personality and all the other the one and the many. He hasn't made that connection between the similarity of the essence within all the different beings as being the same. At least not on video. He hasn't spoken about it. So when that happens, that's like the ultimate of the ultimate as far as here in the world relating with people and things. But he's come a long way from his younger days, and as have I, as we've all come a long way. So it's really nice to see his nice to see him chatting about and speaking about what his experience and sharing it with the world. Zion says, I give you every seed-bearing plant and tree on the face of the whole earth for food. Z. John says that. Z. John says, God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant and tree on the face of the whole earth for food. Yeah, and there's everything, all different entities within all different personalities, all different forms within the universe are, I believe, God, right? Everything is God. So, yeah, and meaning comes from the personal perspective. So, the only meaning in the universe is the meaning you give it. Because if you get really high enough, then you lose all bearing on meaning. So, meaning is actually, in my opinion, it's just a group of associations that you've chosen to believe or to follow or to act on. There is no meaning outside of your own experience. Or maybe purpose. But there are people who have learned to live without eating anything, but I guess breathing is still considered eating. So at that stage of the liquidarian, or the people who just breathe, the different partial pressures in the lungs create enough liquid for the person to live without even drinking any water. So if you really wanted to be very austere, you would have to be pretty advanced spiritually to tap into your own energy, the source, without consuming seeds of the earth. But that is an option for whoever wants to go down that pathway. But every other experience of life is just as important and powerful. So there's no reason to become a liquidarian or a breatharian. But it's maybe good to know that it's an option and a possibility. Z. John says, fear makes you afraid. And Z. John says, when you are afraid, you make laws that made from fear of something that may not ever happen. Yeah, that's some good stuff. I was recently listening to another guy on YouTube. I have known about him for a long time. And he was saying if your energy is up in the past, then you can't really go forward into the future. You know, if you're... he said it much better, but if your emotions are created by your experiences, right? So if you're constantly reliving your emotions of past happenings, then you can't really go forward into the future. You know, you got to look into the unknown possibilities, and have something new happen. You know. You got to allow something new to be, rather than just tapping into the old, recreating the old emotional experience. One of the things recently for me, it's about, I'm always trying to figure this stuff out, or to say it in a different way, but it's, what's the meaning of living, right? Everybody has their own meaning because it can all come from personal experience, but to be more whole, or to be complete, or to be more solid, that's pretty cool to be able to do something like that, because I believe the more aligned you are, the more here in the body, the more you can express, right? So I've been going to sleep just to become more solid, you know? And when you get back in your body, maybe the next day you're even more solid and more solid. So don't need to go to sleep with some huge peak experience, and then you just go to bed knowing that today you got a little bit more, where you pieced a few things more together. And today I went to the bank and I opened a bank account for Embryo Space Inc. And I paid a few people different things, and I got paid also from some work I did last week. So just moving it forward a little bit more today. Yeah, I don't see anything really happening here. There are people here on site. Maybe they're going to do some work since it stopped raining. Maybe they're going to start doing some work. There are a bunch of trucks here. I could show some of that, I guess. And there are people actually getting out of their trucks. So let me get some of these shots here. Earlier today, there was nobody walking around. It was just too much rain. Not worth it. But there are a bunch of trucks here coming and going now. People walking around, even some people talking to my left. So let me get some of these shots just briefly. People actually hanging out outside their trucks. So that's good news. Good news. Yeah, so that's my talk for tonight. That's all I got. But I did upload a video that someone posted on Telegram from 1992. A video from an interview with somebody chatting about the kind of the world structure. And also NASA. He talked about NASA and the United States government and all kind of things. It's worth watching. I put it in, the link to it in the community chat. But it was taped, filmed by CNN. So back in the day, CNN actually was putting out some of this information. And it's pretty relevant. That video is pretty relevant to the happenings of today. So if you're interested, go to the YouTube channel here. Check out the community where I post some of the updates and messages. I think it's called the community forum or chat or whatever. And maybe check out that video. The guy was in the internal. He was in the military, but he was in the internal, making sure the kind of keeping the different secrecy. You'll understand what I'm talking about when you watch it. Pretty interesting video. I'm an hour and 30 minutes into it. There's probably another 30 minutes more to watch. Everything is relevant to what's happening today. One of the things I got from it is that the Republicans are one side of the coin and the Democrats are the other side of the coin. One's more toward the communist and the other is more toward the anarchist. And you need the two sides. You can't have more. You can't have total communist and you can't have total anarchist. So that's what the Republic is about. And so if we were to go New World Order, that would be like socialist, right? And if we went just toward anarchy, then that would be totally against any type of rulership or any type of government or anything like that. So he was saying that this is just one of many, many things that he said. This was like a side comment that he made. But you need the socialists and you need the anarchists. So you can't. It's not good to get rid of either the Democrats or the Republicans because the Democrats might be more socialist and the Republicans might be more anarchist. But if we were to go either way 100%, then that'd be a bad news. So. I'm going to do another minute. Carl says, working in the rain makes your socks stink. The rain drips off your helmet, runs down your back, through the crack of your butt, and into your boots. Makes your socks stink. Yeah, walking in deep puddles, 1 to 2 feet deep, also makes your socks stink. And the water doesn't have to drip down your back. So if you got some boots on, they got a little hole in the bottom. That also makes your socks wet as well. So there's a lot of water out here, so there's less here around the launch site than over there by the remote camera site. Yeah. All right. We'll come to the last words. Anyone have any last words of wisdom or anything else? The date again is November 22nd, 2022. T Rope says, wash your feet every day and your socks won't fare to stink as much. Wow, that's a good one. Good one, good one. Live long and prosper, says 55 Chevy guy Steve. That's a good one too. All right, in 5, 4, 3. Catch you on the flip side. 1. Good stuff.